Mic check 1 2. Welcome to another episode of Uncensored Philly Sports Podcast. Look like it's just me and y'all tonight. I got bailed out on. So what's going on? Well, what's going on is that Embiid continues to play like Joel Embiid, the MVP. He is balling out. Tonight he dropped down. I mean, he did what it. We ain't gonna get too carried away because it was Charlotte. Charlotte has played the Sixers tough this year so far, but Embiid just dominated. 53, 12, 3 assists. I mean, he only had 2 turnovers. He utterly dominated them. He did whatever he wanted to do. Sexy scenario, you saying about stop talking about trading Toby. Oh, Pete. No, I agree. And this is my whole point. Like, I'm not delirious. I don't think that Toby is this great player. But if you're telling me Toby's going to be your fourth best player when Maxey comes back, if Maxey comes back the way that Maxey's supposed to come back, then I can accept Toby as being my fourth best player. I can accept that. Now, can I trade an upgrade? If you're going to give me an upgrade, I am. I'm not taking a unilateral movement or a lateral movement, a side-to-side movement, and take and take Collins over Toby. Florent, whatever that name is. Yeah, you definitely must be from South Carolina or one of the Carolinas or something. You can't be a Philly fan. You can't be a Sixers fan if you're talking about trade Embiid. You must be a fan of another team and you want us to give you Embiid because Joel Embiid is. The funny thing is they don't even have him in the runnings. Like they don't have like him or Steph Curry and any of these players in the runnings for MVP. But they got Luka Doncic up there, and his team is only at 500 too. So, but that being said, man, the Sixers did handle business tonight. Got back-to-back good wins. Melton's been Melton. I expected Melton to be good. Melton's been better than I even thought he was going to be. I mean, he only had 12 tonight, but the way he was cooking at that one stretch and he was hitting them open shots, that's what we need. When you got Embiid and Harden and Maxey and Tobias, you just need your role players to hit an occasional open shot. PJ Tucker can't buy a basket. They left me hanging out there. You know what I'm saying? We came on and did the Eagles joint earlier. Everybody talking about, Tim. Now, Tim not running away. Tim actually was on vacation. I give Tim props because Tim has been coming on here. He's on his way back from vacation now. So he's probably on a flight. But it just so happens to be that he's on the flight when Joel's dropping 53 and 12 and averaging 32 points a game, and he only had 2 turnovers, so Tim couldn't say that. But I'll tell you what Tim is. Yeah, he on soul playing miss away. I'll tell you what Tim would have said was, well, it's only Charlotte. He did what he was supposed to do. You know what he was going to say. You know what he said. But I mean, it's a good guy. It's a good day for Philly 4-for-4 people. We had the Eagles. They balled out earlier today. They handled business against the Giants. Now the Sixers come in. They take care of business at home. Let me see. What else? Harden had I didn't even realize Harden had that many assists. Harden had 19 and 16. Playing like a point guard supposed to play. He shot 50%, 6 for 12, 3 for 8 from 3. Could have did better with that. 4 turnovers, but when you got 16 assists, 4 turnovers ain't much. So what you say, Nick? Decision making looked great. Melton has to push the starters for the minutes. Well, when Maxey get back, see, I don't mind because I thought Melton and Milton looked like a good mix. Oh, hold up. We have the sir.
What's up?
Him into it. I guilted him into it.
You did. I ain't gonna leave you by yourself. You was trying to pull an Ether with a solo pod. I said, you know what?
See, that's all. That's the only reason he came in here. He was hating. He's like, he can't be 2 of them that went solo and held it down.
What's up, everybody? Check.
No, what's good?
Go ahead. I heard you communicate with somebody.
It was talking about decision making. Nicholas Hill said the decision making looked great, and Melton has to be pushing starter minutes when Maxey returns. Melton over Tucker. But see, I don't know. Are you gonna go with the 3 guard lineup? Like, Maxey and Harden, you kind of need another defensive player in there. I mean, Melton is a defensive player. What'd you say?
No, Mr. Wayne said all Ephraim needs is one mic. The Nas reference. One of the greatest rap artists of all time, too, by the way. Yeah, listen, man. I mean, this is what me and particularly me and Wayne have been talking about. Y'all can take up y'all issues with Ethan and Tim when they talk about Bede and not really fully giving him his flowers. Bede is a machine all to himself. He is. This is why I put, in my opinion, all right, I put Bede and Curry and a few dudes on that level. KD is up there. You know, LeBron had his time up there on that level, but Bede on that level, man. He on that level. He's become I remember before we used to talk about Bede would average between 25 and 30, but his efficiency would be around a 46, 47. That's unacceptable for a big man. This year, I think his efficiency is around a 52 or something like that, field goal percentage. That's where you should be at. Some games he had 60, 70%. Yeah, I mean, he had a clunker here or there, but Bede is on another level right now with ball. You got to tip your hat to him. We go as he goes. And when we start getting everybody back, Maxey back, when he come back into the lineup and them dudes get a chance to gel after the All-Star break, as long as we don't have no other injuries that keep people out, you're going to be a problem. I know, like I told y'all, and I told y'all this the other day with Tim, Boston is the best team. I'm not denying that. Quickly followed by Milwaukee in the East. Everybody though has weaknesses. Everybody could be beat. Now, granted, they got beat by the ex-champions, Golden State, very good team, one of the best players, in my opinion, in the game, and all-time Steph Curry. Yes. However, everybody got weaknesses, and they got spanked. And I told you, if the Sixers got their full lineup, I can say that the Sixers will give them a good series. I'm not saying they're going to win, but the Sixers will be in it. That's
hey, listen, Master Kraft. Ephraim has never said that it was Harden's team. No. He did for a while. He was trolling about it being Harden's team or something. No. They said it was Maxey's team. That's what they were saying.
That's what I said.
But Ephraim's always been a proponent of Embiid. You know what I'm saying? Even from when he first got on the squad. But I'm not. Hey, we're not going to just poo-poo what Harden did. Harden had 18 and 16 assists. I mean,
he is master of the craft. You still trying to hate on Harden? Stop that.
You going to hate on the 18 and 16 assists from a point guard who shot 50%? That's what we doing now? I mean, hey, DJ, Niang, he said about Niang had the 5,013 minutes. This was his first game. I think he was injured or something, right? For a couple games. So he's been out for a couple games. So he probably was out there trying hard and getting in it. And David, I agree. I hate PJ Tucker minutes. If anything, I will put Paul Reed in the starting lineup as a power forward and let him come in there. I think if you bring him in there in the starting lineup, he come in and bring the energy, but don't feel like it almost seems like when he comes in there off the bench, he feel like I gotta hurry up and do all this and I gotta make sure and show that I can play this, that, and other. Let him come in like you already know when Embiid and Maxey and Harden and Toby in the game with you. You the fifth option. You the sixth option, even though you only the fifth man. You the sixth option for them when it comes to scoring in that setting. So your job is to go ahead when then Embiid can shoot that mid range, and when Bede mid range is rolling, when his mid range is rolling, nobody can stop him.
Yeah, stop him.
I'm convinced of that. But I wouldn't put necessarily a 3-guard lineup. I wouldn't be mad at Maxey off the bench. I don't want Melton starting with Harden on a regular because I think Melton is our second best point guard. So I like the idea of Melton coming off of the bench and being a point guard off the bench. I think he's a better point guard than Shake and a better point guard than Maxey. So I'd rather see him see the second point guard.
He's faster and got better ball handling skills. I seen Shake Melton look a little shook sometimes when the defensive pressure got on him because he's slow. Like he's street ball fast. Like if you to play him in the street ball, I'm sure he'll blow by everybody on the court. But in the NBA, he got a good amount of quickness. He could finish very well at the rack. But Milton rather is slow. Like he could get cuffed a little bit easier. I think DeAnthony Melton is more athletic. He's faster, and I do think his ball handling skills are a little bit better. And listen, we was on fire tonight from three. We was 48%. Nobody commits. We was in our bag, man. We was hitting, splashing. Even whatchamacallit got into the mix a little bit. The bull Toby had a good game. He was 7 for 12 overall, 2 for 5 from three. I take that. That's 40%. Like everybody was hitting. Melton 4 for 7. Harton was probably the worst. He was 3 for 8, which ain't bad. That's 37%. I would like him to be right around there, 37 to 40%. That's solid for me. But we was hitting. And like go ahead.
No, I'm sitting here laughing. I'm about to stop even addressing Kraft. Talk about his starting five, and he don't have Harden in there. He's talking about Maxey and Melton, and Toby Reed, and Embiid his starting five.
I will concede to this, and I agree with you. I'm Master Kraft, you tripping. I will concede to this. You said this. Jamar Oliver said this, and he said, I've been saying Maxey 6 man since last year. I mean, if the team is rolling, all right, we winning, and Maxey come back, okay. I use Golden State as analogies a lot because I watch them a lot. When the team was rolling Golden State last year going to the playoffs, Curry came off the bench. Now, he ain't stayed coming off the bench, but they was concerned about him health-wise. They didn't want to rush him back as a starter, so he came off the bench and he played well. I mean, if the team rolling and they looking good and everybody playing their respective positions, I wouldn't turn my nose up at the idea of him coming off. I don't think he needs to, in my opinion, because I think Melton has gained more confidence. So I think him coming off the bench will still be good. I think he'll still be able to do the things that he do. But if you're thinking from a defensive standpoint and a scorer, Melton can both defend phenomenally. He's a great defender and score. And you still got Harden, B, Toby in the lineup. I'm not too mad at that.
I'm not mad either way.
But I will say this real quick. Toby, to me, so far has showed better promise playing with the bench players than I've seen Maxey do so far from what I remember. So I still think that's a viable option too, but I think that may cause too many shifts in the big man rotation. I think you be a little bit more guard heavy right now, but we could sacrifice Maxey coming off the bench.
Well, first of all, I don't like Toby as a power forward. I think he's better suited to play a small forward. I think he can actually play a little more physical against some of the small forwards. He's not out physical in any power forward. That's like when you see him tonight, like you see him making moves and using his body and shift and able to get to the basket sometimes or whatever. Against smaller players or players around his size, Toby can be effective, but players bigger than him, he's at a disadvantage going against power forwards. And it doesn't help when you have PJ Tucker, who's not hitting anything. And the only reason why I even said Maxey off the bench, and I'm not saying that. See, sometimes people get to thinking when you say somebody off the bench, it's like you saying he's not a starting quality. Yeah. Like when you look at somebody like Jamal Crawford used to come off the bench. To me, Jamal Crawford was their starting two guard in with the Clippers. Even though JJ was starting and Jamal was coming off the bench, I saw Jamal Crawford as the two guard. Because that instant offense, exactly like Ginobili. So. And I think that it opens up for Maxey because now I think when you have Harden and Embiid, the pace is a little bit slower, a little bit different. I think Melton could kind of go in between both, you know what I'm saying? But I think Maxey sometimes is more difficult for him to find his spot with that flow, you know what I'm saying, against certain teams. But I think if you bring in Maxey, first of all, Maxey against bench players is going to be an advantage because Maxey is a starting quality player. But then you talk about his speed and you let him rip and run and open the floor up. I just like the idea of him and Melton running, but I'm not mad at Maxey starting. And no matter what, he should get starter minutes. But I'm just saying I can see where as though you could hit them with that burst off the bench and Maxey will go off, in my opinion.
No, I mean, I like I said, I mean, I can't argue that, especially if it works. I'm not opposed to trying something at least for a little bit. Give it 2, 3 games or so, see how it go. You know what I mean? See how your team running. That's especially, I mean, you got a little time to kind of see a little bit because he's hurt right now. So it automatically kind of puts you in position how you're starting a lot of look without him. And then you can kind of integrate him maybe through the bench. Even for the fact of safety reasons, just for kind of just easing them back into the rotation. Like, you know, you saw Golden State do with Curry last year and maybe not trying to rush him into starting, but just move him back. And it might flow. It might stick. If I'm not mistaken, I remember, I think it was Ginobili. It was somebody like that. One of them good 6-man dudes. And he was starting at one point, and then he said, you know what, it kind of worked a little better with him coming off the bench, and he moved him back to the bench. And that's where he kind of flourished and stayed as coming in that reserve, but still played like Jamar said, and I think you said the same thing. Still played similar amount of minutes. So, I mean, listen, if it helps us get to the next level, I'm cool with it. It will deepen our team, obviously. I mean, either way, whatever position he plays, because I think Melton still do good coming off the bench in his position, even if he had to, go back to coming off the bench or whatever. But that's what we're gonna need for Boston, for Milwaukee, Miami. We're gonna need them dudes to step up. B gonna give you what he gonna give you. I have no doubt. B focused right now. I honestly think.
I still think the key is gonna be Harden.
I do too.
What
I'm really not hoping. I'm not hoping the boy don't get his heart set on that MVP again this year. I'm hoping. Yes.
I don't think
that devastated him last year. He was visibly devastated when he didn't win that job, and I think that carried over into the playoffs a little bit.
So Piper 23 said, he asked, "What seed do you think the Sixers will finish at?" And he said 5th. Who do you think will finish over him? I definitely think Boston's going to be the best team. Milwaukee's ahead of them in the rankings, but I think the Sixers can battle against Milwaukee. I don't know. It depends on when our whole team finally back and able to ball together. But Cleveland doesn't scare me. Brooklyn doesn't scare me. Indiana, New York, none of them. Nobody in the East. Only teams in the East, honestly, that I really do feel that a full-strength Sixers team won't be better than, like, at least in the standings or whatever, is Boston and Milwaukee. Boston already showed that they could put a whooping on the Sixers. So until the Sixers show me that they can go there or handle Boston and put up something against Boston, I ain't worried about Brooklyn though. They got
me neither. I'm not worried about Brooklyn like that neither. I remember everybody else was all, when Ben Simmons went there, it was supposed to be the coup de grace, but I'm not really overly worried about about Brooklyn either. A must be. I'm positive A is a family member of Ethan's. I'm positive that's a family member, probably Ethan and Tim. They said the live is the same without Ethan and Tim. Well, that's Ethan and Tim. Well, that's Ethan's fault. Ethan playing around at home. Tim is actually coming home from vacation, so I gotta give him a break. But I'm not scared. I'm not scared of Brooklyn at all. I think standing wise, let me see where we at now. Right now, we're in the 5th seed right now. So I think by the end of the year,
as we playing.
Yeah, I kind of agree with Wayne. I think by the end of the year, we could end up. Cleveland's actually playing well. I still think we could catch them. They actually played a lot more games than we have so far.
Yeah, I mean the Cavs beat us, but that's why I'm saying, like, when sometimes I don't know. All right, we say they washed us. Oh, they did, but who really did we have playing that day? I mean, we didn't have Shake. Not Shake. We didn't have Maxey or Harden playing when we going up against them. And yeah, they ain't had a big man, but Embiid kills their big man. But you didn't have the guard play to try to counter what they had. So they all just kicked down there in the paint and was on Embiid. So we'll see. But I do know that the Sixers was handling the Cavs last year, even though the Cavs they ain't have my man Mitchell. So we'll see.
Yeah,
I'm not afraid of the Cavs though.
I will say this: Donovan Mitchell has been playing incredible. He's been playing incredible basketball. That was Ethan. That's Ethan. You want to Google out? You do that, Ethan. That was Ethan who was hating on D. Mitchell. Donovan Mitchell didn't play. If you look at his stats, I was very much surprised because y'all know I watch Curry stats. And X-Men, I agree with you.
You just said about him shooting too much. You said he shot too much.
No, Ethan said that. That was Ethan. That was Ethan. Ask Ethan when he come on here. I tell you, X-Men.
Right, y'all get sometimes y'all like one mind.
I agree. Hey, X-Men, I agree with that comment a little bit. I'm gonna address that in a second. But Donovan Mitchell, I looked at his stats. Curry, I think, is like 4th or 5th in scoring, and Donovan Mitchell is right underneath him. Out of the top 7-8 scorers in the league, he's the only one who comes close to Curry in 3-point percentage and attempts. Curry shooting at 43%. He's shooting at 42%. Now, he don't shoot as much as Curry. Curry shoot like 11 threes. I think he around 6 or 7. But still, 42% is incredible, averaging 30 points a game. Or 20, he averaging 29 points a game right underneath him. And I think his field goal percentage is pretty high, too. He's around like 47, 48 or something like that. He's having an incredible year right now. He balling. I don't think we catch Cleveland, Boston, or Milwaukee. I think we end up in the 4th seed. I think we catch Brooklyn. I think we really tie for them pretty much. They play like one more game than us, so they're a little bit ahead of us. But I think we catch the Nets But I think Cleveland and Milwaukee and Boston staying at 1, 2, 3, and we coming at the 4th seed.
Now I can see that. I'm just to me it depends on not necessarily them, but I think the Sixers at one point, if they have their whole team back, I think the Sixers go on a run, like one of them real hot runs, like where I could see that at some point this season. So, but who's know? Like when does Maxey even do back? No, so.
Yeah,
we'll see. Hey, listen, you say we barely beat. Yeah, the whole point is about winning. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? You saying how we barely beat somebody, but this only Harden's second game back after being gone for like a month. You know what I'm saying? You still don't have Maxey in there. No.
Donovan Mitchell's actually shooting 49% from the field. That's incredible. He's having a great year. I guess he might be out. I'm looking at here. I didn't I realized that he missed the last 2 games. So I think I do remember him tweaking an ankle or something that happened. So we'll see how that goes with him. But X-Men, you said something. He said if the Sixers staggered the starters minutes like Golden State did when they had Durant, they will be great. I just don't trust the coach. I agree with you. I said that actually a couple podcasts ago, but I think once everybody heard me talk about Golden State, they think I'm going to talk about Curry, so they tuned me out, which is fine. But I said that a while ago. I said if you stagger those minutes properly, even with Toby starting, you can still almost have him play like a borderline bench role or Maxey, whoever you want to do it with. But if you stagger the minutes enough where you start off the first 5 minutes of the game with your regular starters, then pull 1 or 2 of them early, put the bench players in, and then by the time you take your starters out, your other starters out, you put other starters back in. So if you stagger the minutes kind of like that, you can always have a nice group of starters mixed in with your bench players and all that kind of stuff. But that's something too that you have to kind of do now so they can even have continuity playing with some of them dudes. That's why we were saying this before. I know Wayne said this and Tim said this is why I think we all agree that this may be the most unexpected best thing to happen to us with Harden getting hurt for a while and then Maxey getting hurt because it forces the coach Doc to integrate some of them backup players, and now you get familiar with them dudes because he was doing a little bit of the kind of staggering minutes, but he still likes to run up more of a bench lineup than anything. But now that's kind of forced you to put a lot of them sub-reserve players in with the starters, and they kind of forced to kind of fill each other out and know what each other hitting for. So I think this is going to go very well for us in the second half, and especially in the playoffs.
Yeah, I agree with saying about the Sixers being like the fourth seed or whatever like that though, because it's just hard to tell what they're going to do when everybody's back. Well, Crab, you saying about Harden playing like this every night? Harden, the 3 games that he's been back, and you're right, Piper, 3. I'm thinking going into it was 2. 3 games Harden been back. The first game against Houston, I think that was all that he was trying to show out. His first game back in Houston, that he was trying to show out. You know what I'm saying?
You trying to do AJ Brown.
You breaking a little bit, yeah. But even like toward the end of the game, the fact that he took the shot that he took the end, like toward the end of the game, that shouldn't have been his shot attempt. That, you know where we should have went with that. That should have been going to Embiid. But it was a matter of like, like Embiid was telling like, go ahead.
Trying to do AJ Brown.
Yeah, exactly. They was trying to let him go back and shine. But since then, you talking about in 47 minutes against the Lakers, he gave you 28 points. He shot just under 50%, had 4 rebounds, 12 assists. Tonight in 38 minutes, 19 points on 50% shooting, 9 rebounds and 16 assists. Like, yeah, it's Charlotte, but if he's playing that way and being that facilitator, and like we said, Maxey's still not even here yet. I mean, we'll see. We'll see. But I do want to see them together because I do think it's going to have to be some work by Doc to mix it up right. Doc still has to find that right mix.
See, I'm not all right. We got in the comment section a nice little conversation. They arguing Spider Mitchell over Maxey. Now, I'm not going to sit here. Let me be clear. I'm not going to say Maxey is better than Spider Mitchell. But I did see a comment. He said, I take offense to some of these comments when it's to the extreme, I feel. The X-Men says D Mitch is light years better than Maxey. I'm not going to say that. I honestly think Maxey, you got to remember, first of all, D Mitchell's been in the league longer. All right. He's been in the league longer. Most of the years he was averaging around 25 points a game on a team that he was the main scorer. You had Gobert on that team. Remember, you even had Niang was on that team for a minute. You had some good shooters around him and stuff like that. But I think if you put Maxey into a similar situation where he's the main scorer, I think it can get you 25 a night I think it's
You know why? I don't know, because I don't know if Maxey has the dog in him. That's what Maxey's missing, in my opinion. He's missing that. And I don't think he's a slacker. He's a hard worker or something. Like, remember how we say the nice kid? He's like the nice kid. I mean, he's too nice. I need him to be mad. Like somebody make him mad. What do you say? The smiling, the happy Hooper. That's what you call it. The happy Hooper. Like Mitchell came in with a chip on his shoulder. You know what I'm saying? When Mitchell he balls with a chip on his shoulder. When he first went to the playoffs, he was mad because he felt like they was giving Harden all the calls, and he felt like they would have beat Houston if they would have gave Utah the same calls. So he has that type mindset. I don't know if Maxey has it or if he ever will get it, but if he does, I think his game elevates drastically.
I agree. Hey, X-Men, I'm agreeing with you. I just said he was the main scorer on the Utah team. He had a couple other ballers though. The team wasn't a bad team. It wasn't like you said it was a bum team. I don't think that Utah team was a bum team. He was definitely the best player on the team, but I don't think that Utah team was a bum team.
Utah was trying to go on a tank move when they got him. Because remember, Hayward left, and they just was like, oh, we're in a total rebuild. And when Donovan Mitchell came out of nobody was expecting him to hoop like that. And next thing you know, they back in the playoffs.
No, he did. Listen, I mean, they still had some solid play. If you remember, a couple times he didn't. One year he played only 53 games, and they still end up getting to the playoffs. Like he played 53 games, and next year he played 67 games with Utah, and the year before that he played 69. So I mean, he wasn't even playing necessarily full seasons like that, but they were still getting to the playoffs. Listen, he was the best player on that team. He is a great baller. I'm not hating on D Mitchell by no means. Am I hating on Donovan Mitchell? All I'm saying is, he's better than Maxey. Yes. Can Maxey get to that level? I do agree with Wayne. I think he got the skill set to do it. He's fast. He's athletic enough. He can shoot the ball very well. There's not too many people who can stay in front of Maxey, but I do think to get to that level, you need some anger in you. Because remember before, Donovan Mitchell used to be going back and forth at it with Shaq and all them on TNT because they were saying that he ain't have enough. It was some dog that he was missing and all that a little bit in Donovan Mitchell. People forget about that because he's hooping now. But I'm talking about his second or third year in, people were saying he need a little bit more dog in him. He needs to know when to take over games and all this, and he has gotten to that level. So I think Maxey, if coached properly and changes his mindset a little bit, I think he can get to that level. I do. But I mean, I don't think he ever have a chance. I mean, he got beat with him. Maybe will be retired if he's still around here long enough to be able to, take the reins. But he don't need to be. We don't need Maxey to be that Donovan Mitchell like that. We need.
But see, I still want him. But I do think he shows in spurts where he, like, we'll see in certain games, and when he get to cooking, and then he'll be ripping. But see, it's like with him, it's like he's having fun. You know what I mean? It's like, oh yeah, like I'm, like ball have fun. It don't ever be like that angry, like oh, I'm going to shut y'all down, or I'm going to send y'all home type. And I think that you do need that type mindset to be as somebody was in here saying alpha, like you know what I'm saying. A couple guys in here talking about alpha, Jamar and Master Craft. I don't think that he does have that in him to be that alpha player in the NBA. I think that he was like he was like more of a money time player. In college, I think he was like he was that he did have that, but on the pro level, I think he acquiesced too easily at times. I need him to be like sometimes he'll be like a little bit upset, and it seems like he like go in the corner and be like upset on the low. He might have to snap. He might have to snap one day, like what I'm saying, like Embiid call for the ball or tell him you should have passed it to me. He might need to snap like, yo, big fella. Like, I saw you. I felt like I had it. He might need that. B probably would like that, though. I think B would like to hear the young boy snap like that, show some fight in him. He got to step up a little bit on that type time. But I've seen games where when he's cooking, when Maxey's cooking, he's cooking.
That's what I mean. Listen, that's what I'm saying. Like, thank you, Mark. Shout out. We definitely went hard. Appreciate the shout out for the double pie. But high hand queens, that's what I was saying. I don't remember Washington. I remember Utah being like some bum bad team. They were always pretty much a solid team with solid players. They weren't great, but they were a solid team.
They got rid of their best player. Their best player went to Boston.
But
that's why it was. He was there. He was their star. He was who their Donovan Mitchell was.
But Rich McCall wasn't no beast. Even the boy Hayward. Yes, Hayward was good. I liked Hayward. Hayward was solid.
Hayward was whooping that year before Mitchell came there.
He was hooping, but he wasn't the end all be all. Let's not act like he was Bird or even he was Luka Doncic or something. He was solid, but they had a solid team there. And even when he left, Spider came in, and people was questioning Spider's killer instinct. People was questioning whether he could be that bull like that, and he showed he could be. But that, like I said, to me it was a solid team. I don't think it was a bum team. He was definitely the best player on that team, and you know, now he in Cleveland, and he the best player on Cleveland. But Cleveland got a good squad. They're gonna be all right. They're gonna be all right. I don't think we catch Cleveland this year. They got defense. They got offense. I think we could beat them, but I don't know if we catch them. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
But we'll see. I agree with X-Men. Maxey's still learning. Hopefully, he reaches that assassin potential. That's all. I'm optimistic about the young boy. I got a lot of hope in him. I've been sending y'all videos. Ethan and Wayne know, and Tim did tell you. I've been sending them clips of Maxey working out, knocking down the three. He came in knocking it down early. Went for a little bit of a cold spell with the three, but I'm sure now he probably out hurt. He back in the lab, you know, getting his body ready, getting the shot back. He come back. It's gonna be a problem. We going to the championship this year, and dare I say, we might just have 2 MVPs in one city. We might have 2 MVPs. I honestly think if we get to the either 3rd or 4th seed in the East, be legitimate MVP contention, and I think he may win it this year. We know Joker ain't getting it. They're going to try to give it to Luka, which is funny to me. I know Master of the Craft, MOTC, you love Luka. Luka's a baller. But it's interesting to me, right, that most of the MVP considerations right now all have teams with winning records. They ain't like the top 2, 3. You got Tatum up there. You got Giannis still up there. All these teams are high. The only bull who seems to be high is Luka, and they 50 and they 500. They 13-13. They love trying to elevate this boy. I'm telling you, listen, they love trying to elevate him. I'm like,
need that European representation.
That's I personally feel that's what a little bit is about, because they're trying to be global. They're trying to make sure everybody feel accepted, so they want to throw a ball. And I'm not saying Luka not a ball. Do not misconstrue what I'm saying here. But Luka is still, in my opinion, not a complete player, because he still does dumb stuff like shoots 8 or 9 threes a game when he's shooting 30% from 3. His defense still ain't that good. He's okay at best on defense. I've seen a lot of people blow by. He does a lot of flopping. He does a lot of crying. Somebody stepped on the dog. He does a lot of crying, and they gift him a lot of free throws, bro. They gift him a lot of free throws. But I'm not here to bash Luka. I'm here to say that we may have 2 MVPs: Jalen Hurts, Joel Embiid. We got one. I think we got one in the bag. I think Hurts got this one in the bag, and Embiid is coming for his. He coming for it.
Yeah, I can't listen. Everybody know I was skeptical of Hurts for the first couple of years. I felt like he needed. My whole thing is I didn't think that his. I still don't think that he has the strongest arm, but he does everything else. He has an adequate arm. He has a good arm, but he does everything else excellent. You know what I'm saying? He has that system mastered. He leads the team. He engineers. So I mean, if you're the one, you're the captain of the ship on a team that's what we 12-1 now. You the engine on that ship. You absolutely should be in the MVP consideration.
I agree. And Pumans, I was thinking that when I was saying that, has the city had 2 MVPs like that, and both like in any of the 4 major sports, has one city had 2 MVPs out of the same city? That's an interesting question. That'd be kind of nice if it happens. Listen, Mahomes, Piper. Mahomes is nice. Don't get me wrong. But you don't think Jalen got the lead in MVP right now? Somebody just said, I didn't even know that. Somebody said Mahomes threw 3 interceptions today. So listen, the way, if you had a chance to watch the Eagles, I know Eagles, it's funny because they don't talk about the Eagles is the best team in football, has the best record. And I listen to a lot of these morning shows, and they talk about the Eagles a little bit, but they talk about Dallas more. Everybody always loved talking about the Cowboys. They talk about the Chiefs more, obviously, because they got Mahomes. They even talk about Buffalo more than the Eagles, because they got the young Buffalo. I keep forgetting his name. But Jalen right now is on another level. He's almost on that level that Mahomes was when he had 50 touchdowns. Like he's doing everything right. It's not too much you can look at his game and be like, he needs to do this better. He's connecting all the dots. Now he's not.
Yeah.
passing yards and all that Mahomes had that 50 touchdown year. But he's doing. I mean, he's running. You can't stop him. He runs. He's making smart decisions when to run, when not to. That was always my knock on him early about running. And he's been checking all the boxes. But I know this is the Sixers shows, and I don't want to make it too much about Jalen.
No, hold on. Let me just because when I say with the arm, do you think that he has the arm strength for some of the top arms in the league? No, he doesn't. And that's why I said that was my knock on him, but he does everything else so well. And he does have a good arm. It's just not, you think he's tossing the ball like Mahomes tossing it or Allen? Like he don't got that rifle that those dudes have. And that's just my personal preference. Nick Foles ain't have a rifle, but Nick Foles won a Super Bowl. I mean, Drew Brees, in all honesty, Drew Brees ain't have a rifle, but Drew Brees would dial you up and he hit. And my thing is, I think that the way he's playing is along those type lines. Whereas though, if he reads that defense and he knows where he's comfortable with this offense, he puts the ball on the money where it's supposed to be in those slots when it comes in there. So, and I don't know what defense is going to stop it. Whereas though, and then even if they do stop it and they D up the pass, at any point in time he could take off and run. like his running is like on that type. Everybody compared it to Cam Newton, but I was saying Michael Vick and that the effect that it has, whereas though teams are scared of him running, like they really come in and like the 1 week Green Bay came in with a spy on him and he still ran all over him. Like that's so somebody that actually can pass, has receivers, and then he can run, and then you have a solid running back with you. The Eagles' offense is like that, but Jalen Hurts is that chief. He the captain of the ship.
Yeah, he is right now. I mean, you know he's balling. You know we balling anytime we done dedicated a portion of the Sixers show to the Eagles. Yeah. And Jalen balling, man. He doing his thing. And Pumans, I agree with you. He said his accuracy makes up for his lack of arm strength.
I absolutely agree. I
always agree with Wayne. His arm he didn't have a Cam Newton arm. He didn't have a Michael Vick arm. Michael Vick got probably one of the best arms, one of the top 5 arms in NFL.
Like you talking about guys that just stand back there and flick it like 60 yards, like it ain't nothing.
Michael Vick is a different kind of animal when it comes to throwing the ball. So I do agree with Wayne. His arm ain't like that, but it's strong enough. I agree with Mark that his arm is strong enough to do what it got to do. And Wayne said this too, Mark. I don't know if you heard him early. He said this early in the last show. His arm is strong enough to make all the throws. That's the most important thing that you need. If your arm's strong enough to make all the throws and you making them throws with accuracy, then, ain't nothing nobody can say. Then when you're in trouble, you can maneuver out the pocket. He's actually looking downfield and looking to throw and not looking to run, but he knows sometimes when I got to run, it ain't worth throwing it. Just get the first down, keep the chains moving. He's doing all that, man. I agree with Mr.
Wayne. He doesn't turn the ball over.
Exactly.
He don't turn the ball. That's the main thing. He does not turn the ball over. He don't throw the interceptions. He don't throw. So he's smart with it, and he's precise where he throws the ball at. So, hey, like I said, I don't care if he did have a candy arm and he doesn't have a candy arm. He has a solid enough arm to get it out there and stuff like that. But that's even like we were saying about basketball teams. Everybody can't do everything. Everybody don't have everything. Like when I'm talking about big arms, sometimes I'm talking about like when you had a receiver got like a step on the dude and the quarterback just air that thing out where the receiver got to run it there. Like remember how when Vic used to throw it to D-Jax and then D-Jax got everybody beat, Vic just fling it and then D-Jax he even gets more separation from the receivers because he runs it down. But that being said, Hurts does everything else outstandingly, including protecting the ball. So I definitely think his name is definitely in the MVP mix, and I might even say that he's ahead right now.
Yeah. Viewers, do y'all think? See if anybody has ever had 2 MVPs in one city. I think that'd be nice to see something like that come to fruition. B and Jalen, that'd be sweet. It'd be sweet to see. I think it can happen. And dare I say, both teams end up in the championship. Somebody did say, and I agree. If we beat Dallas, I think it's in the bag. I think it's in the bag. If we beat Dallas, that MVP is in the bag. Especially if we end up 16-1, that'll be crazy. But if we end up 16-1 or even 15-2, and we beat Dallas that game and lock that number 1 seed up, I don't think there's no way he gonna get passed over for the MVP. I don't think you could do that. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. But I'm glad Sixers got the win. Nice balling. Look for
scenarios. Hurts' upper strength is not crazy. His legs are crazy. And I think that a lot of times that's where the strength of his. I think that's where the strength of his throws come in. And I think in the games where he, like when I used to watch him and feel like he was underthrown a lot, I think it was because he was running so much in the first half of the games, and then in the second. Remember, like his first year, his first half season and stuff like that, he ran so much that I think it took something out of the distance that he would throw. But I think he's grown into grown man shape. You know what I'm saying? Pause. But hey, Mark, to your question we was talking about earlier, Maxey off the bench, I'm not opposed to it. I wouldn't say just because he's coming back or put him off the bench, just that another. But my thing is, if Maxey's not comfortable in the starting lineup, like if you can't get that high productive Maxey in the starting lineup, then maybe he does need to play, either starting with the bench or when you make the switch in the like bringing the bench in, you have him and Toby still running with the bench, and it's like Maxey, go do your thing.
Yeah, no, I mean we talked about that a little earlier, Mark. I do think, like I said, I'm flexible enough to say, look, if they want to try him off the bench to see how you do with that second unit, especially when he just come back, I'm cool with that. I will say this: our next game up is Sacramento, and Sacramento is not sweet at all. I've been telling people this. Sacramento actually plays a lot like Golden State, and you know why? Why, Wayne? Why they play like Golden State? Because they got their ex-coach. Mike Brown is not a coach at Sacramento, and they implement a lot of that ball moving, them off-screen picks and all that kind of stuff like that, them backdoor screens, double setting, people setting double picks and all that kind of stuff. They play very good basketball.
Sixers smacked Golden State when they came here last year, so I ain't worried about that.
I'm just saying, Sacramento, people see Sacramento and they think we should win. I remember it was early in the season, I was watching I jump on all the Golden State chat rooms and all that, and Golden State lost or barely beat Sacramento. And somebody said, oh man, they barely beat Sacramento, they're not playing good. I said, listen, y'all understand Sacramento a good team. I've been watching Sacramento on the low because I know Mike Brown coached Sacramento, and I always like Mike Brown as a coach. Sacramento hooping, I'm telling you, so don't think you're going to come in here and we're going to blast Sacramento like that. I'm not saying we're not.
Hey, Sacramento fifth in the West, Sixers fifth in the East. So, yes.
Sacramento been hooping, man. They've been hooping for real. So, I mean, we're going to see what happens when they get here on Tuesday, but I didn't realize that was our next game, so I looked it up. But we're going to see. I think I agree. They Fox and Barnes and up. They hooping right now. Go ahead,
yeah, that'd be good to the playoffs. Barnes, you talking about Harden in the playoffs? Barnes, oh my God, he turned into a whole different.
So that was that was like 6 years ago. I'm not gonna hold him against him when he collapsed in the finals and helped cause him and Curry played in that 3-1 comeback. But Matt Barnes. What's his name? What's his first name? Harrison Barnes. He ain't played well at all. But they've been playing good this year. I'm telling you, they focus. Sacramento focus. I'm not saying they ain't no champion, no contender, nothing like that. But they're not sweet at all.
Should no black man have a first name Harrison? But I digress.
But this was a good day today. We got a blowout Eagles victory, blowout Sixers win. Listen. It's all smiles here, man. It's all smiles.
Yeah. So thank y'all for coming out. God bless. Good night. We're gonna wrap this up. Catch y'all on Tuesday. Man, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. If you're somebody new here and you don't hear hating just because you hating that we won any games, you can still like and follow, and you can come back and troll like some of the other ones. We had some people used to come back here and still troll. They slowly start fading off. People like Raj, he'll probably be back after we spank Toronto again or something like that.
Yep.
But do like and share. Appreciate it.
Deuces.
Y'all have a good one. Dang on it. I hate when they make you have to put